As a Christian, one of the requirements that we have is to help other people. In today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about how we can go about doing that and ensuring that not only are we blessing other people's life, but also helping us become better disciples of Jesus Christ. Hopefully you enjoy this one. Hey everyone, welcome to Changing. My name is Donald Kelly and I'm your host. I am so excited to talk to you today, and if this is your first time listening to one of our podcasts, watching one of our videos, I ask you to go ahead and subscribe and leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast app. If you don't know how to do that and you want to send us a testimonial about how the podcast has helped you, please go ahead and do so. You can send me an email, donaldckelly09@gmail.com, and I have that in the show notes. And if you're watching the video, it's on the bottom of the screen there, donaldckelly09@gmail.com. Go ahead and send me an email. Would love to hear how you're enjoying the podcast. And this show is designed to be able to help us to become better Christians, help us to become the individuals that God knows that we can become. And sometimes change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. So if you know somebody that's going through that same process as well and they need some motivation, some guidance, go ahead and tell them about the podcast. Send them over here and let's connect with them and help them as well. Let's spread the love and spread the message. Today, speaking about spreading the love and spreading the message, we're going to talk about how we can become better Christians by serving others. Now, this comes from a talk that I'm working on. I'm giving this message for this organization, and they're focusing on youth. How can we help youth become better? And one of the points, how we can help youth increase their spirituality. The principles I feel can benefit all of us. In particular, I know it can definitely help you and help me. One of the principle is being anxiously engaged in a good cause, in good works, in helping other people. So what does it mean to be anxiously engaged in a good cause? For me, if you break the words down, anxiously engaged, like anxious, I feel like you're just like so excited, like you can't really hold it back. You're thrilled about something, and engaged means that you're taking part in, you're active participant with, and a worthwhile cause. I mean, I think of a worthwhile cause as something that just feels that's bigger than us, that's bigger than ourselves as an individual. Like that's worthwhile. So if you're anxiously engaged, you're a part of something, you're engaged in it, you're enthralled in something that's worthwhile, that's bigger than you, that's exciting. What that does is that it takes away the human tendency to be selfish. So let's go back and think about some worthwhile cause. Sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ, that's way bigger than any of us. And sharing that with other people, that's a worthwhile cause. Maybe being a part of the military is a worthwhile cause. It's bigger than you, and you can help other people. Maybe like doing a Peace Corps, or you don't have to do big things like that. Perhaps it's going to be like just being a part of a charitable organization where you give food to homeless people every month or every week, or perhaps you volunteer for a Big Brother Big Sister program or some youth group. Like you're serving in your responsibility and a calling in a church. You're anxiously engaged in something that's bigger than you, and it's a worthwhile cause. That's going to be the benefit of mankind, and yeah, you will get benefit from it, but that's not a goal. It's not for us. It's just being able to do it because God wants us to do so. Now, when you consider this idea and consider doing something like that, it takes away the selfish tendencies, like I said, but it also gives us the opportunity to become just better people. All right, so I want to share some stuff with you here, and I have my little notes here, some little stats that I want to, well, not so much like stats, but some ideas that I feel could benefit you as we're talking about this, and I'll give you some different areas. I'm going to read something, but charity is the pure love of Christ, and that's like, I think it's like the capstone of our spiritual journey, is to be able to be a charitable individual, and to be able to have that pure love of Christ in our lives and with us and amongst us. There's a man that asked Jesus. This comes from a book called Preach My Gospel. Listen to this. It's a man asked Jesus, which is the greatest commandment in the law? Jesus replied, and obviously this comes from Matthew chapter 22, verse 36 through 39. We can put that on the screen there. But thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Amazing. It's given to us as a mandate, as a commandment. First commandment is to love God. The second commandment is to love your neighbor. So love God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might, with all thy mind, with all thy mind. And that's the first. And the second is like unto it, love thy neighbor as thyself. That's charity. Here's continuing on the reading of that definition. Charity is the pure love of Christ. This comes from the Book of Mormon, Moroni chapter 7, verse 47. You could pop up on the screen if you want to check it out. It includes God's eternal love for all his children. We are to seek to develop that kind of love. When you are filled with charity, you obey God's commandment and do all you can to serve others and help them receive the gospel, the restored gospel of Jesus Christ. The prophet Mormon said that we should pray unto the Father with all the energy of heart that we may be filled with this love. That comes from Moroni chapter 7, verse 48. As you follow the counsel and strive to do righteous works, your love for other people, for all people, will increase. You will come to feel a sincere concern for the eternal welfare and happiness of other people. Interesting, huh? Here's this last piece. You will see them as children of God with potential to become like our Father in heaven. And you will labor in their behalf. You will avoid negative feelings such as anger or envy or lust or covetousness. You will avoid judging others, criticizing them, or saying negative things about them. You will try to understand them and their point of views. And I think we need that today in this world, right? You will be patient with them and try to help them when they are struggling or discouraged. Charity, like faith, leads to action. You will develop charity as you look for opportunity to serve others and give of yourself. I mean, I couldn't say these things any better. If you want to check out Preach My Gospel, you can find information down below. There's a link that connects to that book. It's called Preach My Gospel. And it's a manual for people who are, doing missionary work. Now, the principle with this, even though it ties to missionaries, like think about it. If you're anxiously engaged in a good work and you're trying to develop this Christ-like love for other people, it's going to transform you. And you're going to be like this part. I just really love it. It says that you will avoid judging others, criticizing them, and saying negative things about them. You will try to understand them and their point of view. And if you're serving other people and you're developing this Christ-like love and you're looking for ways to be anxiously engaged in a good cause and a good work, I mean, it's going to come as a natural byproduct. You're going to find yourself loving other people and helping them and wanting them to become better. And I think that's one of the important things. Christ wants us to share the gospel and to help other people. And he wants us to make the world a better place around us. Everyone are his family members. Like, we're all sons and daughters of God. And if we're helping out one person, we're helping out a son and daughter of God. Like, think about it. If you have kids and somebody's helping out your kid when they're not home, like, you'll be super grateful that a person was willing to take time to help your kid out. You'll be like, man, that touched my heart. Thank you. And it's a powerful principle. So look for ways that you can be anxiously engaged in good work to help other people and to help do something bigger than yourself and to be of service and to get that Christ-like love. But as a natural byproduct, you're going to help the world around you and you're going to become a better person. Here's some things you can do, though. I'm going to list like 15 different things, and I'll just, have these pop up on the screen, and you can just see them in a little bit, maybe one at a time, so you can get a chance to read them and hear me. If you're listening to the podcast, you can go to the show notes, and you can find some of these there. You can minister so here's the first one. Minister to those you're assigned. Some of you go to churches where you probably have like, someone that you oversee, that you look after. Maybe in a large congregation, and, your pastor, your spiritual leader, your bishop, your congregation leaders may organize to say, I want you to take care of Brother Jones, or take care of the widows, or take care of look out for these folks. Those people you may be assigned. And for people who you're not assigned, you can minister to people. You can find people on the streets you can minister to, people who need the love of God. You can just reach out to them and, say, hey, can I get you some, somebody that looks like they're hungry or destitute? Can I get you some food? Get you some drink or whatnot. Here's some granola bars. I had a friend who always carried granola bars, especially when he went to large cities, because he'd find people who probably need stuff and he would help them out. So minister to people. Everyone, we're called to minister to other people. Tutor others. You might find people who are new in their walk with Christ and they need a little bit of tutoring. Help them out. Or perhaps you're in school and somebody that needs help with math and math. Like, volunteer to help them. Say, hey, I know that you mentioned you had a challenge with some math. I'm pretty good at algebra. I'm willing to share with you and help you out. Boom, there you go. Offer to take someone to church. Many of people don't have vehicles and they might need a ride to church. Offer to give that to them without waiting to be asked. Look for ways to help. Visit others where appropriate and safe. We're going through a time period where people are sick and, battling COVID still. Look for ways that you can help other people and to, and minister to them and to visit them. Sometimes people just need someone to tell them they care for them. Help others with their goals. So you might have, it's a new year and people may have goals to become better in their finances, and you may be pretty good at budgeting. Help them out. Or maybe they want to become a better Christian. Help them out. You can help each other out to become better. Serve in your responsibility at church. So maybe you've assigned a responsibility or a volunteer role at church, serving that. And because when you serve in those roles and help other people do the things at church, volunteer, you're helping other people. Ultimately, you're helping who? You're helping God, because you're helping the sons and daughters of God. Now, maybe you can do some family history. And in our church, we do indexing, where there are a lot of family file names or census information, and people are doing their genealogy and need help. You can do the indexing and help them out. If you want to find information about that, just go to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and search indexing, and you can check that out. And we'll put a link in the show notes. You could also check out family history and do that. I got this guy from my church who's doing some family history. And he put all these things together, but I'm going to help him create a digital book so he can have that book, that his family history stuff. Reading the scriptures with someone who's learning the gospel. Someone maybe need help reading the Bible. Help read them. When I first joined the church, or I started going to churches, and I was needed to read the Bible. I didn't read Old English before. I needed help and get an understanding of what these terms and words were, and these verbiage. And I was grateful for people in my congregation who read with me. Calling someone and saying hello. I kind of mentioned this, but just you have people that you're connected to and friends, reach out to them. Be a friend to someone. Everybody needs a little bit of love. So be a friend to someone. Tell someone you care for them. Like, imagine if you got a call from somebody and they say, hey, I just wanted to check in on you. No strings attached. I just want to tell you that I really care for you, man. I was thinking about you. Like, you were thinking about me and you decided to call? Like, that means a lot. We all have tons of people we're connected with on social media, the contacts, but are we really connected to them? We can do that. We can send messages to people or send a spirit uplifting message in a text message or instant messenger, or such as Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok or whatever platform you decide to use. Send in that message or write an old-fashioned letter or email. Leading in your role. You may be a mom or a brother or sister or cousin. You could lead. You don't necessarily need to have the title of a leader to lead. You can lead people by helping them out and looking up what would a leader do in a situation like this. If you have a nephew, is making a bad decision, reach out to them and be their friend and help them and lead them. You may have a responsibility at church. Lead in that responsibility. You're teaching a Sunday school class. Lead those kids. Let them know, or the adult, lead that class and be that disciple of Christ. Trust the youth with important things. This is another one that you can do as a leader or as a parent, or if you're trying to just become a better Christian. Trust youth. We could trust young adults. Give them responsibility to do things and help them to step up to live to the stature of Christ would want them to do. And they'll need guides, and you could be those guides. And the final one that I have down, there's an organization or a program called Just Serve. You can find the link here. I think it's justserve.org, but we'll put a link in the show notes to Just Serve to make sure we get the right link. But Just Serve is they offer they connect people with local stuff in their community. So let's say you want to go find some way to give back and to become Christ-like and have that love and help other people in the community. Just Serve has these amazing organizations they connect with who post different things. They might need a volunteer to help with the soup kitchen. They might need a volunteer to help clean a animal farm, or it might need a volunteer to read to someone. You can find tons of opportunities. Help to paint the fence for somebody in the community. Relief efforts after a disaster. Like, so many different opportunities with Just Serve. So I highly recommend you check it out. I love it, and I think you would love it as well. But those are some of the things you can do. The point is, as we are anxiously engaged in good cause, we're anxiously engaged in doing in becoming Christ-like, the fascinating thing is that we're going to become better people. We're going to help people out, and it's going to help us to become better Christian all around. We're going to become more like Christ. And hopefully this episode was able to help you, because that's the essence of what I wanted to give you today. I know that this stuff is true. I know that Jesus lives. I know that he wants us to become more like him. And I know charity is a pure love of Christ. And if we can strive to do that, we can become better and help others around us. I testify of that, and I share that with you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the podcast today and for subscribing to the podcast. I greatly appreciate you. Hopefully this can help you as you're in your walk to become a better Christian. If you need prayer, need some help, need some guidance, and you want some extra support, get an uplifting message, reach out to me. You can find me, send me an email, donaldckelly09@gmail.com. I'll put that at the bottom of the screen, donaldckelly09@gmail.com. You can also go ahead and reach out to me on social media platforms such as Facebook. You could just search for Donald Kelly, and you'll see this handsome face, and go ahead and connect with the brother. And now, more than willing to connect with you there. As always, listen, I know that Jesus is going to come again, and I want to make sure that you're changing and I'm changing, and when he comes, that we can be on his right hand. I appreciate you, and I love you, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and go out and help other people. Love you. Have a good one.